This is Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Interactive Wrestling Radio. Oh, rush.
Featuring the interactive interview.
Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Formerly The Blaze.
The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze. The Blaze rock.
Yo, Maniacs, so what you gonna do when the Blaze of Maniacs runs wild on you?
On WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling
Epicenter. Wrestling
Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. Joining us on the Newsmaker line during a historic week in the history of Ring of Honor is a gentleman who will be appearing at this Saturday's big pay-per-view spectacular Final Battle. He is the former Ring of Honor television champion and one of the six-man champions. Of course, I'm talking about Shane Taylor. Are you with me, sir?
I'm here, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I guess the simple way to start this out is, how are you feeling right now with the emotional week that approaches all of us here?
Right. It's such a... Man, I feel like surreal is such a cliche now. Like, everybody says it. You know, it's like energy and toxic. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. People find buzzwords to use for the era. It's such a strange feeling because you've got all the anger and bitterness and resentment that I have for Kenny, for him costing me the Ring of Honor World Championship. Mm-hmm. And I understand what I'm going to have to do at Final Battle. I'm going to have to walk in there and I'm going to have to hurt my friend.
Yep.
I'm going to have to hurt my brother, right? I know what I'm going to have to do, and there's still a part of me that wishes I didn't have to.
Absolutely.
Part of me wishes that this all could have been different, that we could be somewhere laughing and joking about, you know, our daughters growing up and laughing about how, you know, I got to be Ring of Honor World Champion and he didn't, and just talking trash and being the friends that we used to be. But the reality is that's not going to happen. The reality is I'm going to have to walk into Final Battle and make an example out of him, you know, and what bigger stage than what could potentially be the last time Ring of Honor presents Final Battle, you know. So there's a lot of mixed feelings there.
Absolutely, and it's an interesting time. And let's stick to the Kenny thing for now. Then we'll talk about, you know, Ring of Honor and all the goings on with the company. But you guys have been on this collision course for quite a while. This singles match, I believe, was supposed to happen at Death Before Dishonor, and here we are finally. We're going to get it at Final Battle. I guess, you know, it's a long time coming, this rematch for you guys.
Yeah, this will be the third singles match that we've had. The first two, well, he won the first. Mm-hmm. I won the second.
So this is a rubber match.
Yeah, like this is that final decider. This is the one that, you know, the for all the marbles, again, just doesn't feel like it fits the way that I want it to, but that's really what this is. You know, I've talked about our legacies being compared. When you have Kenny King, myself, Jay Lethal, all in the same place at the same time, I've compared it to having Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron all play in the same era.
Right.
Right. And obviously the two of us are still chasing Jay because he's the only one of us who's been able to win the Ring of Honor World title. And for me and Kenny, I feel like this situation has forced us into that decider of, okay, whose legacy is going to take that next step up? Whose legacy are people going to remember more, mine or his? And you're dealing with two very proud men, two vicious competitors, two people who are willing to lay it on the line for everything that they believe in and have full confidence that they can get it done. So I'm expecting the day after Final Battle to be hurt, to be injured, to be bruised and broken, but to be victorious.
My fandom of Ring of Honor began before the first show. I actually got sent a ticket just because I bought a videotape of a different show from RF Video, and I got a ticket living nowhere near where that first show was. I'm in Arizona, and that was obviously on the other side of the country. But it's a scary thought to think that 20 years later we could be facing a very different, if at all, Ring of Honor. What is your thoughts as an employee there and a guy that's worked there for the last 7 years plus, going into this weekend and the uncertainty of it all?
There is a strange poetic sort of thing that is going through my mind. You know, it's Ring of Honor started as this group of individuals who just wanted to show the world that they had the talent, that they had all of the ability, that there could be an alternative to the kind of wrestling that they already saw. And for the last 20 years, Ring of Honor has not only influenced the sport, but it's guided the sport, changed the sport from not only the talent that you see in the ring to the very style of wrestling that you see on TV every night. Because guys in the 90s weren't having matches like they are today.
Right.
That's a Ring of Honor influence. Mm-hmm. You could look up and down the list at every top company, and damn near all of your main event guys, all of the guys that are making all the headlines, all the guys that are having matches that are blowing people away are Ring of Honor guys.
Yep.
That's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
To have this chapter be closing feels like somehow letting them down. But then at the same time, knowing if this is going to be the end, you want to make sure that you make them proud going out. Like you go out on your shield type of feeling. And I know everybody in that locker room, no matter who it is planning on going out there and leaving everything they have in that ring. And for myself and Kenny, we're probably going to leave a piece of ourselves in there too.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see it, and it's going to be an interesting night because it's something I'm looking forward to, but it reminds me, and I hate to say this, but it reminds me a lot of that last Nitro, where you want to watch it because you don't know what's going to happen, but then you're thinking, but it could be the end, and that sucks too. Right. So, I mean, it's a lot of mixed emotions, even from a fan's perspective, as we approach Saturday. And I'm sure that it's probably tenfold for the guys that, work there. So, all right. Well, let's see here. A couple more questions of downers, and then we'll get back to the happy times, which is looking forward to the show. What do you think? Because I did an interview with the gentleman who does the Headlocked comic book, and he said that he didn't see this turning out any other way for Ring of Honor because of the style being stolen by everyone else. But other people say it was the pandemic that kind of took the wind out of the sails, and there's the others that'll say it's the elite leaving that took some of the wind out of the sails. I mean, are they all right? Are they all wrong?
I mean, there's a little bit of truth in everything. As far as the style goes, I believe our ROH has not only innovated those styles, but we've also been able to improve on our own, right? Mm-hmm. I will say that, you can take our roster, talent for talent, versus anybody else on the planet, and we stack up very well, if not better. The wrestling show that we've put on for the last 2 years consistently has been better than anybody else's. So I believe there are multiple factors as to how we arrived here. Everybody's kind of right here and there about, their own specific points, but it's just a culmination of a lot of things. But the most important thing is not necessarily how we got here, but what we do now that we are. And I believe what people are going to see is the best wrestling show that they've ever seen.
I can't wait. I really can't. And since we last spoke, it was about 2 years ago, almost like within a couple weeks of being to the day, you were in a different place and you were talking about, starting up your own thing. And you did with STP, with Shane Taylor Promotions. And what has it been like being the leader of your own faction and having Moses and Khan as your right-hand man?
It's been incredible. I've been able to, when I first sat down with Khan, Moses, with Ron, with O'Shea, we talked about what we wanted out of the sport as individuals, what we wanted as competitors' goals, and we talked about vision. We talked about how we wanted to change the sport. And almost every single one of them, the first thing out their mouth was, I hate the stereotypes that we have and I want to change it. And once I heard that, I knew I had a special group of individuals around me. All of us come from different backgrounds. All of us have gone to college. All of us, are intelligent people outside of the sport. And when you put all of our intellectual skills together, business skills together, physical skills together, you get a group of individuals who are very, very hard to outgun. You get a group of individuals who are very, very hard to out-strategize. You get a group of individuals who are very, very hard to outthink. And we have seen over the last 2 years what that's looked like when we're all on the same page and we dominate things. We take things. We are the most, in my opinion, the most versatile group, top to bottom, in all of professional wrestling. We are the most complete group, top to bottom, in all of professional wrestling. And for us to not only have, our community be behind us, but to have other groups behind us as well, because they understand what we're doing. They understand where we are in society. They understand the need to have the platform that we have, say the things we say and do the things we do. The response has been tremendous, and I couldn't be prouder of all my guys, especially knowing that so many people didn't want this to be a success. They didn't want it to happen, but to be standing here 2 years later as, the greatest six-man team ever in the history of the company, to me, that speaks volumes.
Awesome. And of course, it's not just your own match, but you got the six-man tag titles that are on the line at Final Battle as well. I guess that's another match that everybody should have their eyes open for.
Absolutely. You've got the Righteous, you got Vincent, you got Bateman, you got Dutch. You got Vita Von Starr, who's out there with her crazy self. You're talking about three individuals as well in the three of those men who are willing to go wherever they have to and beyond to not just win the match, but to impress upon you their vision, their ideology, to impress upon you their way that they see the world, and they use violence to do that. And part of me kind of respects it. And the other part of me knows that we do the same thing. So I have full confidence in O'Shea and Khan and Moses to go out there and not only win, but to impose their will, to send a message to not only the Righteous, but to everybody else in the professional wrestling world that Shane Taylor Promotions is a problem individually or as a group, and nothing is stopping us from going out there and making the last night of Ring of Honor potentially be a night that everybody remembers the name of STP.
Absolutely. So you just said potentially the last night, and I had Caprice Coleman on a few weeks ago, and the line that stuck with me is he says, "Some people say it is so. I'm here to tell you that it's not." And I don't know if he's being an optimist or if he knows something maybe we don't know, or maybe, everything that we've been told is at face value, and there will be a resurgence of the company in some form around WrestleMania weekend. What's your honest opinion? Is this the end, or is there going to be another chapter of Ring of Honor in 2022?
I have no idea. I am someone who plans for what is, not for what will be. And for me, when you start to think ahead, you lose track of the present. So if that's the case, and there's a successful relaunch, fantastic. I hope that anybody involved is successful. But for right now, my focus is and can only be on this Saturday, on Final Battle, on Kenny King, and on my guys in the 6-man championship match to make sure that December 12th, that the entire world is talking about us. And then we'll see what happens come April.
That's been the cool thing. If there is anything that good that came out of this, is that ever since that announcement came out, there seems to be more focus, more attention on Ring of Honor than there was before the announcement, which is totally the wrong way things should be.
Right.
But it just seems like you guys, all it took was closing to make everybody open their eyes and say, "Wow, we really love Ring of Honor."
I mean, the popular term is you don't know what it's got. You don't know what you got till it's gone, right?
Exactly.
And I think for years, because Ring of Honor has always been around, that there were years that people, like, the popular thing was to trash us. You know what I mean? Was to be like, oh, and just talk trash. And now here we are, and everybody's like, oh, but, and it's like, no, I mean, this is where we're at, So, but then at the same time, like you said, now that we've got the attention, now that the eyes are here, we're going to show the world what, exactly what we've been doing over here for the past few years, and that's putting on the absolute best wrestling product in the world.
Very cool. Homicide was a Ring of Honor original, and he did a recent interview, and he was kind of mapping out his ideal how Final Battle should go. I mean, how wild of a show can we expect? Are you expecting it to be something that will appeal to the classic Ring of Honor fan as well as the current fan, or is it specifically an ode to the fans that have been there for the past 2-3 years?
I think everybody's going to find something on this show that they are going to love. I feel like they're going to find something that they're going to be able to relate to, that's going to be enjoyable, from people who want to see the purest of wrestling to those who want to see absolutely nothing but violence. Those that want to see the best high flyers in the world, those that want to see people just get punched in the mouth. You're going to get everything you want. You are going to get everybody giving it their absolute all, from top to bottom. And for me, that excites me. That passion, that energy is going to be something that's going to be able to be felt through that entire building. You're going to be able to, feel that through your TV screen. And personally, I can't wait.
Either can I. A few weeks ago, if there was ever a gut punch for a Ring of Honor fan, maybe it was seeing Jay Lethal walk out on the AEW pay-per-view and announce that he had signed there. And a lot of people kind of went, well, that's it. There's no coming back from that. And it's, everybody just over-exaggerating. But you already put him in the category of LeBron James and guys of that ilk, Michael Jordan and all those great players you named. I can't remember what 3 you used, but there you go. You used those 3 names. He is definitely the franchise player of Ring of Honor. As a guy that's still on the roster, as long as there is a roster. What is your thoughts on him taking the option and going to another company before the Final Battle pay-per-view?
I love Jay. He's been a mentor. He's been, and still is. I'm not going to say it like it's past tense. He's definitely the Jordan in that scenario that we're trying to all chase. So selfishly, you want someone like that to be at Final Battle, because you know how good he is, you know the kind of leader that he is, you know what he's capable of doing. You want that talent on your show every single time, right? Like, there's no one. You can't name me 10 better wrestlers on this planet than Jay Lethal. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So you want that selfishly on your side, especially if you're letting off all the shots. You know what I mean? You want every weapon at your disposal. But you can't be mad at someone for making a business move for themselves, for their family. Smart business move. You know what I mean? So I wish him nothing but success. But, of course, selfishly, you're like, damn, I wish he was here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's just something that feels right about it, that he should be here. You know what I mean? But, again, it's completely understandable as to why he's not.
Absolutely. Well, you're a family guy. You have a kid to get back to shortly, so I won't keep you too much longer. But let's talk about December 12th. Let's talk about other options. Where are we thinking? What is your plans after Final Battle?
My plans immediately are going to be to find the biggest ice and Epsom salt bath ever, and try to recover my body somehow, because I know I'm going to be hurting. But I've been in conversations with a few places, none that I can say now.
Right, of course.
And the goal will be, again, to be able to bring as many of my guys with me as possible, and keep everything we're doing as TP going strong. And the right platform with the right creative freedom to truly be us is out there. I truly believe that. And I believe the return on investment that you're going to get for bringing us in is going to be tenfold, because what we've been able to do, essentially just off the strength of ourselves over the past 2 years, has been incredible. I can only imagine having sort of that corporate, backing, what that could do for us. You know what I mean? So it's going to be quite a show once December 12th hits and January 1st hits, and we're sort of able to not get out of the cell, because we're not necessarily in jail, but the kind of just emerge from this world back into the wild. People are going to be very, very excited that we're back.
Can't wait to see it. I'll let you go. And just final question kind of came to mind while you were talking is, how would somebody like Keith Lee, now that he is free of his shackles from WWE, I view it that way, by the way, but now that he is free from WWE.
I was trying not to go that route. I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say, but,
Exactly. Now that he is, though, free and available, what's the chances that we might see you guys, wherever you end up, should it be in the same place, maybe reunite with each other?
I mean, anything is possible. You know what I mean? I was just talking to Keith yesterday, and, we know there's money to be made there. There's always the door to as TP is always open for Keith. He knows that. Was talking, FTR made a comment on Twitter yesterday, like, hey, if the money's right, let's go, which I respect. They do have a billionaire behind them, so I mean that seems pretty easy, right?
Right.
But yeah, and anything is possible. First things first, though, we handle business as it comes. We take care of this weekend first, and then we let the rest of it play out as it will.
All right, so for everybody involved, we're all looking forward to Saturday night. We're looking at it a lot of different ways. A lot of ways I want to see all the matches because I know it's going to be the best wrestling show I'm going to see all month. On the other hand, it's going to have some emotions attached to it too. So it's a rough one. It's a rough one to kind of look forward to and kind of get excited for, but then you have that other thing in the back of the room, the elephant in the room that's involved in it too. But man, I wish you guys the best of luck. I thank you for coming on and doing this. I know it's a difficult thing to talk about because there's so much uncertainty, but I really do appreciate you taking the time and doing this, and I know you've done a few, so I hope you're not too punch drunk on doing these kind of things.
You're good, brother. You're good, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
And now we shamelessly name drop from our history.
The Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
All right, everybody. Viva la raza. Viva la raza.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, ladies.
Hey guys, we had a lovely conversation.
First lady, absolutely.
Oh, look at me. She's so kooky.
Be there.
Where else?
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Wrestling
Epicenter.
Oh my god, you win! Love being interactive.
I was not shooting. Yeah, I almost pissed my pants. Breaking neck. I got 2 words for you. I've heard a lot about you guys. I see my language. You're going to go to the shop. I see them now. We're into the many.
No nerves.
Oh, it's great. It's going to be cool. What it's all about. The purest point of view. The living legend. Arrogant.
You just makes me
Instead of saying when I'm talking to you,
so lonely without you.
In the land of extreme.
testify. Nevermore. Interactive. Interview. I'm not just the best. Interactive. Interview with a plastic
You
head.
earned the right.
Nobody. You better keep listening. Thank you very much. Controversy creates cash. Professional
Made
wrestling.
in the USA, baby.
Memphis wrestling. The guy on fire.
I'm not
Interactive
We were sexy.
What a show.
One and only.
Wrestling Radio.
Wrestling Epicenter.
Interactive interview. We took care of the business. This isn't ballet. We are huge with this whole. You're where it's at. You better recognize who's the best. Make sure you tune in each and every week. I'll come out of your computer. Knock down your door and turn it on for you. Or else I'm going to kick your stinking teeth in. And that's the bottom line.
Have a nice day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.